What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As promised, we're going to be going ahead and doing a Orcust K9 combo tutorial video today. Stick around, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. We'll get started with the basic combo here. This is going to be normal summoning Girsu. So Girsu the Orcust K9 will get summoned out as our normal summon. We'll use Girsu's effect to go ahead and dump the Heart Pourer from our deck to the graveyard. We'll then use Girsu's effect. We'll go ahead and summon out a token to our side of the field and our opponent's side of the field. So keep that in mind. Our opponent will have a token of their own. It is a level 1 Dark Machine. We'll go ahead and use this token since it is a World Legacy monster. We will then summon out our Galatea Link 1. Now keep in mind again, the token is on our opponent's side of the field over here. We'll use Galatea's effect to send a card from our hand to the graveyard, not discard. It is sending a card from your hand to the graveyard. And we will go ahead and grab our Orchestrated Babel to our hand. We're going to immediately activate Orchestrated Babel. And this will turn all of our Orcust monsters on the field, as well as in the graveyard, into quick effects. We will then link 2 into our link to Galatea. We will then go ahead and use our Orcust Galatea, banishing the Girsu as cost to summon itself out. This is a quick effect currently because of Orchestrated Babel. So we will chain our Galatea on field, targeting our Girsu to shuffle it back into the deck and place our Orcust Crescendo. Orcust Crescendo is an omni-negate, meaning that it is when a spell trap or monster effect is activated, you would go ahead and negate that card and then banish it. This specific card says banish it. We will then resolve the chain, summoning out our Link 1. We will then go ahead and use our Heart Pourer, banishing it from the graveyard to summon out our Symbol Skeleton from the deck. Summoning out our Link 4 Inland Girsu. This is the new monster that we have for the deck, the new Link 4 boss monster. This will be a consistent end piece for the Orcust strategy. This has a quick effect while Babel is placed up to be a non-targeting monster take of your opponent's monsters. So you'll take control of their monsters. It is permanent. It is not temporary. They will not get it back at the end phase. It is completely permanent and will be staying on your side of the field until it's removed by yourself or the opponent. It does this by targeting a Orcust or World Legacy card in our banish zone. We can use that shuffling back and then taking. So if you don't want to take, you don't have to. So you can not shuffle and then bring this card back to hand. We will then go ahead and use our Symbol Skeleton to go ahead and bring back our Galatea. We'll then summon out Ding Girsu, the Xyz monster. This monster lets you use Link Orcust monsters you control as material for its Xyz summon, and this fulfills the whole commitment. Now, the only monster that we cannot use is Galatea, the Link 1, because this does specifically say in the card text that it cannot be used for an Xyz summon. So on summon, you get the choice to either send a monster your opponent controls or attach a banished machine monster. So we'll use that on our turn here to attach the Symbol Skeleton so that we can get this back in rotation here. We then will actually activate Ellen Girsu on our turn to bring this to our hand. We can shuffle something else back like a Fualos if we have in our hand, or you can shuffle this card back if you have no other options, but this can be used as follow-up obviously, and you can shuffle any card from your hand. So then we will shuffle back the harp, and we will take the token our opponent controls that we gave them. We will then use that token and our Girsu to go ahead and summon out IP Masquerena. So now going through the interruptions that we have on our opponent's turn. We have a banishing of Orcust Symbol Skeleton to summon out Ding Girsu. Ding Girsu then on summon can be either or, just as stated. We can non-target send, or we can attach a monster. this will be then protection for us. So protection from battle or card effects, destruction. We can then use our crescendo as an omni negate as well. And then again, like I stated, this is follow up in the graveyard. We can even summon this back on our turn by banishing Galatea. And then we can use IP Masquerena to perform a link summon into SP Little Knight. What we can also do is we can actually use our Inland Girsu Link 4 as material for our IP special summon. And we can summon out Long Girsu if they play into the zone, and if you would rather have the non-targeting sends that this will then provide. So it's the same amount of interruptions. It is a little bit different, but with SP you get banishes because the card text you will banish on summon, and then you will also banish by its own card effect. The Long Girsu can send away monsters that one monster that it points to. The Long Girsu can send away one linked monster, and so you do that by shuffling back 2 machine monsters from your banish zone. So of course you would need those 2 machine monsters in your banish zone to use this card effect, but it is a non-targeting send. And then if you get the Inland Girsu into the graveyard, the turn that it's sent from the extra monster zone, you can use it to non-target send a card your opponent controls. So very, very strong 2 card sends, a take, potential banish or a different send, and then crescendo as an omni negate. For the next 1-card combo, we're going to go over if you have a Noroi in your hand and your opponent has 2 or more cards in their hand. So we're going to start by normal summoning Noroi here. We're going to activate its effect on normal summon to special a K9 from our deck. Its effects are not negated, so we're going to activate Jokel's effect to go ahead and search. We're going to grab Lantern from our deck. We're then going to perform an XC summon for K9 Ripper. We are then going to activate Ripper's effect, specifically detaching the Noroi. We are then going to search for Izuna. We'll then activate Lantern's effect, bringing back the Noroi to our field. We'll then activate Lantern's effect to go ahead and search for Case for K9. We're going to activate Case for K9, searching out a copy of our Jokel. We summon Jokel from our deck off of the Noroi effect, so we have not used Jokel effect to summon. We are then going to use Jokel effect to summon, and we have to do this because we need to keep the Noroi on field, so we cannot use it as Xyz material. We are then going to activate K9 Izuna's effect to go ahead and dump our Lupus to the graveyard. We will then overlay these 2 into our River Stormer. We're then going to activate River Stormer's effect to go ahead and search for Scrap Recycler to our hand. We're then going to summon Platinum Gadget by using these 2 machine monsters, which is why we needed the Noroi to our field. Make sure that you have an open zone that this points to. Effect of Platinum Gadget will summon out our Scrap Recycler, then we will use our Scrap Recycler effect to go ahead and dump our Harp Pourer to the graveyard. We'll then use Scrap Recycler as material for a link summon into Clockwork Knight. If we have going in first our copy of Clockwork Knight, we will use Clockwork Knight, the link monster on summon, to send away our Case for K9 to go ahead and grab out Clockwork Knight. Or you can, obviously, before you send Noroi to the graveyard, you can always use Noroi's effect to send away the case to go ahead and look at your opponent's hand as well. So for this example, we'll just say that we sent away the Case for K9 with our Clockwork Knight, and we searched for the continuous spell Clockwork Knight. We'll then use Clockwork Knight's effect, targeting the Scrap Recycler for cost. And then if the effect resolves, we will then send away the Platinum Gadget to summon out this Scrap Recycler. The Platinum Gadget can't be used as link material anyway, the turn that it's summoned, so it really doesn't even matter that we have this on field. We would actually prefer that it gets out of the extra monster zone. So this is a very good effect to have to get this off of field. You can also do the same thing with River Stormer. You can tribute this to summon it out as well. And that gets rid of a link monster for something like an IP summon. Again, Scrap Recycler is not once per turn, so when we summon Scrap Recycler off of the Clockwork Knight, we're then going to dump another machine monster, which will be the Orcust Symbol Skeleton. If you would like, you can then go ahead and tribute this for the Infinitrack to summon itself. I personally would not, because it's not needed in this combo to do that, and you're just kind of playing into something like Bell, which they would have activated at this point, so it really doesn't matter one way or the other. At this point, we are then going to Dark Lock ourselves. We are going to activate our Orcust Harpor to go ahead and summon a Girsu from our deck. We're going to activate Girsu's effect. We're actually going to dump Orcust Crescendo off of the Girsu here. We'll then use Girsu as link material for the summon of Galatea. We can use Galatea's effect to discard any card from our hand to search for the World Legacy World Chalice. Now we can use this card as a shuffling material, and I will show you that in a second here when we get through the combo. We will then use these two monsters, and it doesn't need to be these two, it could be any two, but I would recommend just getting off link monsters as quickly as you can. We will then summon out our Galatea Link 2 here. We will activate Galatea Link 2's effect, targeting the Harpor to shuffle it back into the deck. And we will set our Babel here. Again, this will get set. You'll just immediately activate it. We'll then activate Galatea Link 1's effect by banishing Crescendo to go ahead and summon itself. Remember that Orcust Crescendo's effect to search for any Dark Machine monster is not able to be activated during the turn in which you summoned anything but a Dark Machine off of a special summon. So just keep that in mind, that you cannot banish this card and search for a Dark Machine if you already summoned anything other than Dark Machine. It locks you out for the entirety of the turn, and you cannot activate this card if you did that. So we will then go ahead and use all of these for the link summon of Inland Girsu. This is going to be the main boss monster that we end on in many of our combos here. We will then use the skeleton effect to go ahead and summon out our Galatea again. We will then summon Dingirsu off of the Galatea, because Dingirsu says that we can use link monsters as material. The only one that we cannot use as material is the Galatea Link 1, because it specifically says on the card text that you cannot use it. We'll use its effect, declaring that we're going to use the effect to attach. It also has a send effect, which we can use on our opponent's turn. We will then go ahead and use these two materials that are non-link monsters to summon out our IP. Again, zone placement is important. Make sure that you have an open zone for Inland Girsu. Summoning it here would not work. You need to summon it here so that we can summon out IP. For the very last step up the combo, we're going to go ahead and activate Inland Girsu's effect, targeting the Orcust Crescendo to add it to hand. If our opponent controls a monster, we can shuffle back our World Legacy World Chalice. Otherwise, we will add this back to hand, and no taking will happen because our opponent does not control a monster. We'll then set our Orcust Crescendo and pass our turn. On our opponent's turn, what we have, we can summon out our Galatea, Link 1, by banishing the Girsu here. We can also summon out our Dingirsu and get a non-target send. Just keep in mind that this does Dark Lock you whenever you activate this effect. We also have Ripper effect as a way to maybe negate a hand trap such as Bell if they're trying to stop this from happening. We have IP effect. We can use something like this to summon out our SP. We also do not have to summon SP. We can also, just in the previous combo as stated, we can use these two to summon out our Link 3 Long Girsu. We get a non-target send. It sends one linked monster that it points to by shuffling back two Dark Machine monsters. This monster can also be banished to perform a non-target send on your opponent's turn since we control Babel. This has to be during the turn that this is sent to the graveyard from the extra monster zone. But for this example, let's say that we summoned out IP and we still have this up. We still have this as an interruption. We can add this back to hand and then shuffle this back into the deck. Then during our end phase, or if they threaten this body, you can also discard the symbol skeleton to then search out the world chalice again, because we shuffled it back into the deck. Keep in mind that you cannot activate this effect to discard if you do not have a legal target, and our only two legal targets are the world chalice and the orchestrated babble. Okay, we are now going to go over a 2-card combo here. This is going to be with Jokul and any level 5. We're going to use the Brick of World Wand in our hand, plus any way to Jokul as a way to show off this combo. Again, this is with no other cards in your hand other than just these two. Again, this is with no other cards in your hand except for these two. We're going to go ahead and summon these two out through the effect of Jokul. We're going to activate Jokul's effect, searching for Lantern. We're then going to use these to perform a Xyz summon. We'll use this to go ahead and search, specifically dumping the Jokul. We're just going to go ahead and grab Force Release now so that we know that we are guaranteed to have it. We'll go ahead and activate Lantern, summoning out Jokul. We'll activate Lantern's effect, searching out Case. We'll immediately activate Case, and we're actually going to search for Noroi in this combo. We don't want to activate Noroi's effect yet, so we're going to go ahead and just go into our River Stormer now. We'll activate River Stormer's effect to go ahead and search for our Scrap Recycler here. At this time, we will then summon out Noroi, since our opponent controls 2 or more cards in their hand, and we will summon out Azuna. Azuna will then go ahead and dump. Now, at this point in the game, we cannot summon anything from the extra deck other than K9 Xyz monsters. So we will actually use Noroi's effect to go ahead and send our Azuna so that we don't have the lock of Noroi anymore. We'll peek at our opponent's hand, and now we are again free to do our plays. We'll go ahead and summon out Platinum Gadget. Same exact combo at this point. Platinum Gadget will summon out Scrap. Scrap, dump the Harp. We'll use Scrap as material for the Link summon of Clockwork Knight. We'll do the exact same thing. Summon this, get rid of this. Again, trigger Scrap again, dump the Symbol Skeleton. We will then go ahead and use Harp once again to summon out our Girsu. Girsu will then again dump Crescendo, because we want to make sure that we get that counter trap online there. We will then go ahead and use Girsu for the Link summon of our Link 1. So, when you summon this guy out, if you have a reasonable discard in your hand, such as like a Fualos or something like that, I would recommend going ahead and using this card to search for Babel, just so that if they decide that they want to negate this for whatever reason, I would have thought that they would have had negation at this point, you know, on the Ripper or anything like that. But if they did want to interact with this card for whatever silly reason, then you would have a second way to get to Babel once you perform your Link summon here. So let's say that we didn't discard any card, so that way we do this combo with just Jokul and the level 5 in hand. So we'll use this, we'll shuffle back Harpor to go ahead and set our Babel. We'll immediately activate it. And then from here, we'll go ahead and activate Link 1's effect, banishing the Crescendo to summon itself out. We will then use all of these as Link material to go ahead and summon out our Link 4 Enlin Girsu. Enlin Girsu will go ahead and add back our Crescendo to hand. And then we can banish our Symbol Skeleton to summon out our Link 2 and use this to attach. So now what you have on this end board is you have a Ripper negate that can be used. You don't even have to use it if you don't want to, but you can. And it actually is better to pitch this card. And then you can use Force Release to go ahead and rank this up. If you are Dark Locked because you had already used an effect that would Dark Lock you, you can go into Jax. Or if you just find it more valuable to pop 2 bodies, then you can pop with this and then pop with Jax on summon. Jax also does not have to pop on summon either. It can pop by detaching anytime in the next chain link. If our opponent has activated a monster effect in the hand or the graveyard. And of course, we can also summon Werewolf if we are playing the Werewolf, to use this to be a hand rip. Of course, we already have hand knowledge at this point, so we're probably just winning this game anyway. Something else to keep in mind with Werewolf is that you can actually summon out Jacks first to get your pop. If you battled with a K9 monster, you can go ahead and reset this card from the graveyard. And then you can do the same thing again. You can summon out, this would be detached obviously from the Jacks. You can go ahead and summon out Werewolf on top of this. And now you have a Werewolf that does double damage. If you kept a material underneath, let's say, the Ripper and did not ever use the Ripper effect, then you will have 2 materials underneath this. And so then on your opponent's turn, you will then have 2 attacks off of the Werewolf, and they will do double damage because of the Jacks. So if you are swinging into an open board, you're going to do 13,200 damage just with this one card. There's no restriction that makes you only attack with this card. This card just does 13,200 damage. That's how much it produces. So keep that in mind. Of course, we can use Crescendo, and then we can use Link 1 to banish either one of these cards. My recommendation would be to banish this, and then you can add back this to hand, shuffle any card in your hand, or back the Girsu. And then when it comes back to your turn, and by the way, this card is double protection for you. Then when it comes back to your turn, you can banish the Crescendo with the Galatea, and then make sure that if you're grinding with your opponent that you can add this back to hand again, and then you'll have the counter trap again on turn 4. I'm going to be go ahead and posting more combo videos with this specific deck that are going to be involving more 2-card combos, more combos with interaction from your opponent. So I will set up a game state to where I get impermed on a high impact place, ashed on a high impact place, Fualost on a high impact place, and then I will also show what happens when you have very hard bricks in your hand and how to use those bricks in your hand to unbrick your hand with 2 and 3 card combos as well. Turn on the notification bell so that when I do post these videos that you are getting these right away, so that you can be up to date on the absolute best meta contending decks and the best combos for these decks as well, from someone who has gotten top 4 at a regional with this deck. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I already appreciate the subscribers that we have gained just within this last week, and the views that I have gotten on the Orcust K9 deck profile, as well as all of the videos we have posted of myself and my testing partner playing. We have gotten a lot of views on those as well. I appreciate every one of you guys for watching, sticking around, continuing to watch. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks.